Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, baby.
I just have one question. Why? Why would you stay? Why would you love a man that had no more respect for your body than to leave it bruised and battered and broken? Why? Why did you leave? There were so many things that I wanted to say, so many things left unsaid, like, I love you. Like, when you left, grandmama stopped breathing and granddaddy stopped living, and they lived their lives in autopilot with the boys so deep in their souls that not even God could feel them. And when you left, you missed out on all the important things, like the first day of my period, my very first prom, my very first time. I needed you. I love you. So I just had one question. Why? There were so many things I wanted to say to you, but most of all, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you for finally standing up, broken and bruised and made up mind to leave. When I was 8 years old, I witnessed my mother's death. I witnessed my mother's murder at the hands of her abusive boyfriend. And for years, I asked myself, why would she stay? But nowadays, I'm learning that it doesn't really matter why she stayed, but when she found the courage, the strength, and the absolute unconditional love for herself to leave. I'm not damaged goods.
Oh, May and how sweet the sound that saved the wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. But now I see.
Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. It's dark. Can somebody please turn on the light? There's a lot of screaming in the background. Can somebody please turn on the lights? Freedom. There's nothing in the world like freedom. It's kind of like karma or history repeating itself. Her face, his personal punching bag, eyes swollen shut, midnight black and blue. And he's standing there in his midnight blacks and blues. And the emergency room visits 10, 12, and 22 stitches. You see, my mother had no big lavish dreams, just a house and picket fence wishes. I remember her taking me from my bed, putting me in a closet, placing a blanket over my head, afraid that I would be next. She returned recognizable and bleeding, and she could only whisper, everything will be okay. Enough is enough was enough. His clock stopped, and hers listened closely. The ticks, the second hand moves to the beat of freedom. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. My mental psyche played rewind, and it was always after dinner time, but tonight it would play out just right. 9 years old, heart turned cold, and I'm standing there next to my father's favorite chair, pretty little dress in Bobby socks. So I cocked his 9mm Glock, putting one in the chamber, not out of anger. You see, I kissed and caressed the handle, staring into the candle flames, casting dreary but celebrational shadows. Nervousness and fear were distant fallows, confidence flowing through my veins. The door opened slowly. He screams her name, Diane! Her flesh is pleading with he, and her tongue is pleading with me. Baby girl, you don't have to do this. Mommy will take care of us. Yes. So the loud things There were the screams, it rang out the beatings. Trigger finger squeeze, 2, please, 4, don't, 6, hit 8, 10, mommy again. His clock stopped, and hers, listen closely. The ticks, the second hand moves to the beat of freedom. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. See, my father was a cop, and when he beat her, he never stopped. There's nothing in the world like freedom. There's nothing in the world like freedom. And although I know my father's gone to a better place, and the God that I serve is a forgiving God, so I know he's forgiven me and my mother is free. There's nothing in the world like freedom. You see, that was my sister's story. But me, at the age of 4, I saw it all. You see, I saw my father beat my mother, man after he was even gone. Yeah, my sister was 5 years my elder at the time. But then at the age of 8, she kept choosing men that continued to beat her. Why? I told her one night, Mom, all you gotta do is leave. Never understood why she stayed. You see, if she left at the right time, maybe she'd still be here today. See, now I'm 28. See, yeah, that's 20 years ago when I saw him kill my mother right in our front yard. You see, I stood on the porch and I screamed, and my sister, she screamed. But there was nothing we could do because he was so much stronger. I tell you, if he hits you, it doesn't mean he loves you. Just leave, and I hope that it's not too late, because I don't want your kids to be the kid that I was.
I am not damaged goods. If I could just lose 10 more pounds, 10 more pounds, 10 more pounds, and I'd be pretty. I'd be beautiful. Nobody wants to be fat. Nobody likes a fat girl. Fat girls are losers. Fat girls finish last. Who wants to be a fatty? So if I could just lose 10 more pounds, I just want to be beautiful.
Our insecurities are like ghosts. Ghosts that are revived from the wardrobe of skeletons our ancestors thought they could take to the grave. So everything you hate in yourself is probably something your parents hated in someone else. And now these ghosts often haunt us like the stench of death never washed out of the hands of a murderer. Like big feet, or thin hair, long noses, or crooked eyes. You see, we curse these demons of yesteryear while trying to be the angels of tomorrow. But we keep forgetting the most important step, which is just loving ourselves first. Like my cousin Sherry. Sherry used to enjoy dinner time like Christmas morning. Her mother was a mean chef who knew how to put the soul in soul food. She really knew how to put her foot in it. And though she wasn't from Texas, Sherry always believed that being bigger was better. But see, her ghost slept under the pots and pans of her mother, because years ago, Mommy had brewed a concoction of bad-tasting fat jokes that Sherry would be forced to inherit. And one day, Sherry confused her TV for a mirror, compared her reflection to a 17 magazine, and convinced herself that being plus size is no longer acceptable. You see, her mind had become susceptible to anything that could make her feel, but since then, Sherry has fallen completely out of touch with herself. And so now, she regurgitates thoughts of dinner time like a drunk uncle at family reunions. She bursts empty stomachs in break rooms as if trying to gather laughs at a high school lunch period. Breakfast is trapped somewhere in her imagination alongside her newfound popularity, but she just walks around with delusion in her pocket as if this is all a dream. But in reality, she is a walking chronic eating disorder. Her heart pumps famine. Her lungs breathe starvation. You can hear the hungry mice sniffing around the empty basement of her belly. Her face is a frowning cracked wall where we used to hang smiling portraits. Her hair is chipped paint. Her limbs are corroded pipes. Her nails are rusted floorboards. Her ribs are unstable framework. Her body is an abandoned home that we are all afraid to go near. except for those guys who take bets to see who was brave enough to sleep in her overnight. I told her, Sherry, just come back to the light so your shadow won't fight you anymore. Because I have enough haunting ghosts to know how it feels to not be able to stand beside of yourself sometimes. But she just traded in her soul food for diet pills and skipped meals. And beauty never came to her in the form of a capsule, but instead a casket. And this is not a poem bashing physical fitness. I just want you to love yourself for who you are. We are all far from perfection in every aspect of the word, and I would rather live with these haunting ghosts than to die trying to get rid of them. So this is for Sherry and anyone else walking around with the insecurities of their ancestors. Anyone else walking around with haunting ghosts that look like big feet, thin hair, long noses, crooked eyes, studded tongues, funny names, gap teeth, pudgy bellies. Just know that I love you.